The goal this week is to get the cockpit in primer and to host a birthday celebration for Yanni in a primed cockpit before this episode goes live on Wednesday. There's a lot that needs to happen to get there. My name is Matt. Follow along as I turn Duracell, the legendary ocean racing sailboat, into a comfortable cruising home. I'm really trying to get the cockpit into a state where I can put primer on it. It's so sunny and hot, and the exposed fiberglass and epoxy are getting baked by the sun, and so I want to get it covered by primer to protect it. So I'm working on getting I got the port side seat back glued on yesterday. Today I'm going to do the starboard side seat back. It's a whole bunch of little detail and prep work, and so it's finally ready to go. Basically what I'm going to do is just put a big bead of glue all the way around everywhere where they made up with each other, and let the glue set, come back tomorrow and do a little bit of sanding, and then laminate it to the boat as well. Total Boat sent me this really cool new caulking gun and Thixo Pro, which is it's the same 2-to-1 thickened epoxy in a tube, but it's a bigger cartridge, and so hopefully a little bit less waste. Again, if you want to help support the project, you can follow the link in the description below the video, and if you buy something from Total Boat, it helps the channel. Like I said, there's a whole lot of little detailed fiddly projects that I have to get done before I can start painting. I laminated over the entire coaming with some light cloth. This has no structural purpose, more of a sacrificial layer to sand on, so I don't dig into the important biaxial layers. It also helps flatten the area in the coaming. I had to laminate over where the instrument panel will be as well. I hadn't tied it together yet with fiberglass, it was just glued, so this layer on top will hold everything together. The seat back was also only glued to the cockpit settee. The carbon hinges sit proud down the outboard edge of the seat where water should run aft along that edge. So to help fare the hinges into the bench, I only taped between the hinges and added an extra layer underneath the tape on the bench side. This will make a smooth run for water to go aft in that corner so it won't pool up between any of the hinges. Last summer, we did the cockpit extension. There was a bunch of fiberglass taping that I just didn't get to before we moved on to onto other projects. I want to get the entire extension primed, including the swim steps, so I had to fiberglass over all the corners and edges that hadn't been done yet, to finish tying the cockpit extension to the boat. There were some exposed foam edges to take care of as well.
don't think we showed any epoxy being pumped last week. Our viewers must be excited to see you pumping epoxy again.
I'm excited.
I know you're excited.
I'm always excited. Excuse me.
So obviously you're laminating again, but can you tell us a little bit more about this lamination?
I'm basically finished the transom extension project, which I didn't quite finish last summer. Just kind of tying everything together back here. I'm adding extra layers to the swim step because, you know, we're going to be climbing on and off the boat, and it's going to be a lot of banging around with dinghies and stuff back here, so I want to make sure it's quite strong. And then after that, I'll put the vacuum bag on it. But what I'm really trying to do is get the cockpit painted, and so, or not painted, but primed. Just getting these last projects done before we change color, hopefully. I like it when Pods likes to hang out here with us.
And now for my favorite moment.
For the past few days, I've been laminating all the little spots and parts and pieces that I've been neglecting for a while. And so the next part is to sand everything, and that is so that I don't miss any smooth spots, so that primer will stick really well. It's just a prep stage in order for the primer to stick.
So what do you think? Are we going to be able to host a gathering in a primed cockpit by the end of this week?
Yeah, it's going to be very close, but I think so. I was interrupted for a welcome visit from Yanni and our friends Scott and Lizzie, checking up on my progress and entertaining me with stories of their own sailboat projects. They are leaving in just a couple weeks on their own 2-year Pacific cruise. But after they took off, it was time to get back to sanding. Got everything sanded, and so the last step is to clean before I paint. The first part of the cockpit that we're going to paint is the inside of the boxes. I'm not going to paint the underside of the lids or anything. I have a different idea for that, but we're just doing the boxes and the gutters. And I'm going to paint that with bilge coat. This is another product from Interlux that Dave dropped off. We painted like the lockers that are in the bathroom, and we'll paint all the lockers inside of the boat with the same stuff, and the bilge obviously with it.
Looks good.
So far. I've got my paint mixed, and so it's time to coat everything that is bare fiberglass. This is Whole Guard Extra, made by All Grip, and what it is a tie coat. And so I'll do 2 coats of this stuff, and what it does is it makes sure that the fiberglass has a coat on it that will adhere to everything that's going to go on top of it. So it's a really great substrate that makes everything else stick really well. It's also going to protect this bare fiberglass from the sun. The epoxy does not hold up well to UV, and so getting it covered to protect it from the sun is really important. This stuff is really cool because it's an epoxy, but it stays open for 6 months, and so I can put a coat on, and then I can put another coat on 6 months later without having to sand it or anything. I just have to clean it really good before I put more on. So it's pretty cool stuff. It's Tuesday night. We're publishing the video tomorrow at noon. We're just getting in under the line here. pretty cool.
I do too.
We did it. We have a few more Patreons to thank this week. First, thank you very much to Richard. He learned to sail on the East Coast around Nantucket and then had a west sail that he sailed around in the Bahamas. He got to help friends sail through Panama and in Southeast Asia. Sounds like he's had some great sailing adventures. He's a custom interior carpenter, now lives in Sweden. So thank you very much to Richard. We'd also like to thank Michael, and on behalf of him, we'd like to congratulate Tony of SV Tapatia. This is a YouTube channel. Tony is building a 32-foot Benford designed sailing dory, and they are anticipating him to launch the boat this week, I think. And so huge congratulations to Tony. It's such a, no matter how big the boat, it is such a big and huge accomplishment to finish building a boat, and we're very, very happy for him. And so yeah, if you want to check out his channel, it is SV Tapatia. We'll put the link here and in the description below the video. And lastly, thank you to Reimer. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Him and his girlfriend are rebuilding a Contessa 32 from the keel up. I think it was a little bit bigger project than they anticipated, but they're doing a beautiful job. He works in a chandlery, is also a part-time yachting journalist in the Netherlands. So thank you very, very much to Reimer. And again, thank you so much to everybody. We could not do this project without you. I know I say that every week, but it's absolutely true. And also thank you to my lovely wife, Yannicka. It's her birthday today. And we'll hope to see you again next week.